want to say to you that as an average consumer, I mean, most of you probably listen to me are not wealthy, but if you are a tither, you are blessed and protected. Your supply will never end. Your meal will never waste, and your oil will never fail you. However, there are thieves. There are people who are just greedy beyond belief in terms of the major corporations of our nation. And I made a statement recently that the five major meat processing plants in America are owned by five different corporations, and they process most of the chicken or the pork or the beef or meat that you get is processed by these five major meat processing corporations. And during the pandemic, when prices began to rise, they didn't have to rise. These meat processing corporations own a monopoly on meat processing, whether the cattle is slaughtered in Chicago or in Illinois and then sent out to South Dakota to JBS processing plant. They have a monopoly on what we eat and what the price we pay. And because they have a monopoly, they set the prices. They can do price fixing, and they set the margins and the prices. And I'm going to name five of the major meat processing corporations of today, and all of them earns at least $4 to $5 to $17 billion earned last year, profits. We're not talking about after they paid their salaries, after they paid their shareholders, after they paid their suppliers, after they paid whatever it is they had to pay. They don't pay taxes, but everything else. These corporations had anywhere from $5 to $17 billion in profits. And you have to know that some of these CEOs, some of these shareholders and other officers of these meat processing corporations earn salaries of $1 million a week, $50 million a year. Some earn more than that. And even after paying themselves $1 million a week, the corporation itself still earned over $5 billion in profits. And now, but what I want to say to you is that during the COVID-19 and during presently the war that's going on and the inflation process that we find happening now as a result of all the money, when Joe Biden, my time, poured $1 trillion in that plan that he called to send money back to families and give children money, everybody got a check, businesses got expense money, payroll money. When Joe Biden put all that money printed by the U.S. Treasury in circulation, the corporation said, well, let's just get our part. So they raised their prices. Now, Larry Summers, a former president of Harvard and not theologian, but if you will, economist of no means ability, stated that you're going to have inflation. Well, didn't take no genius. I could have told you that. Didn't take a Larry Summers. Could have taken a James David Manning and tell you you're going to have inflation. And not inflation because prices needed to rise. Now, please listen to me. You have inflation because these meat processing corporations say, well, if Americans got more money, let's charge them more for our products. Rather than saying, well, we made $5 billion last year. Our CEOs all made $50 million, $1 million a week. We're good with that. We'll keep the prices the same as they've always been, even though Americans got more money to spend. That ain't what they said. They said, what? There's more money in the hands and pockets of Americans now? Everybody's getting $250 per child? Well, let's take that money out for ourselves. And they raised the prices. They did not have to raise the prices. That's what I'm trying to say to you. Now, let me name some of these crooks. Smithfield Foods, you probably heard of Smithfield, especially if you eat a lot of pork. They're the biggest on pork producing, Smithfield. They produce beef as well. And then there's another major meat processing corporation called Seaboard Corporations. They produce a lot of meat sold nationally. And then there's Tyson Foods. Tyson Food, I think it's somewhere in Alabama or Arkansas, someplace down there. They do a lot of chicken, but they do beef and meat and pork as well. And then there's JBS USA Food, which is located mainly out in South Dakota, but they have other smaller offices around the United States as well. And then Cargill Meat Solutions, these big five. What I'm saying to you is that these are the most un-American. When you talk about, you have to look at the greed that's in these corporations and the politicians that allow them to actually charge poor people more money than they have to charge them in order for them to make a profit. It's just absolute robbery at the grocery cash checkout counter. And these corporations are nothing more, in my estimation, than armed robbery bandits is what they are, robbing the poor American people and buying these yachts, these private jets, these luxury homes. They talk about what Russia's doing. Well, Americans' ownership, listen, Jeff Bezos owns of Amazon, right? Who cooperates with these meat processors, owns the biggest, most expensive yacht on the planet. Jeff Bezos, right? So when they talk about Russian oligarchs, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. America doesn't have clean hands to talk about luxury apartments on the Champs-Élysées or on the French Riviera. These thieves that run these meat processing so you can have hamburgers to eat or a chicken leg, they've raised the price just because there is a war. You got to understand, these people are heartless. They are heartless. They don't have blood running through their veins. They got dollar bills. If not dollar bills, they got ice water running through their veins. These people, and I just thought I would say that to you in case you want to know. Say prices have to go up. No, they don't. What they ought to do is lower prices. Take the billions of dollars of profits they've made over the last 20 years, send that back into the community by lowering the price rather than raising the price of chicken or hamburger, lower the price. But they're not going to do that, and the politicians not going to make them do it. Not even Joe Biden, my time, or Tribulation Trump, because they're all in on it. They all get their money from these corporations, and they do what these corporations on Wall Street tell them to do. Except for me, I tell you different. And me, you don't even want to help. Me, you don't even want to help me. You are paying an extra $30, $40 a week now for meat that you don't have to pay, but you're going to pay it. And there's a voice like mine out here, at least you can throw me a bone, but you're not going to do that either. So here's the point. These people that run these meat processing, and I'm going to get to the gasoline people, they are heartless. They don't care. They just want to take, even though they said they've already made billions of dollars for the last 20 years. They've made profits and paid themselves $1 million a week. Yet, they're going to take more from you. But isn't that what y'all do to me? Isn't that what you do to me? You just take and take and take and never give. These big corporations could lower the price. You could send an offering, a tithe. You could help. You could join. You support. But you won't do that. So many of you are just as heartless as the major 5 oil corporations. Let's go through them. ExxonMobil, the biggest one on the planet. ConocoPhillips. If you've never been out west, everywhere you look out west, ConocoPhillips, they are all over in terms of their gas stations. Then there's Occidental Petroleum. And then there's the fourth one, is largest, is Phillips 66. And the other is Valero Energy. Prices for gasoline went up 33% in just 3 days last week and going to continue to go up. Now, they made billions of dollars. ExxonMobil made over $34 billion in profits last year. They don't have to raise prices. They could take that money, put it back in, and paying themselves, as I said earlier, millions of dollars a week. They could take that money and say, well, there's a war going on. People are having a difficult time. COVID-19, winter's cold. Let's lower our gas prices. Let's lower our gas prices so that the average consumer don't have to struggle. They can buy food. They can drive their cars to work, etc. Let's lower the price. No, they don't do that. They are heartless. They want more, and they don't have to have it. Listen, if ExxonMobil, and ConocoPhillips, Occidental Petroleum, Phillips 66, and Valero Energy, gas right now, national average, according to the AAA, I don't know, $5 a gallon, let's just say, right? You know what they could do? They could lower the gas prices to $2.50 a gallon and still make a profit. But I got more news for you. Oh, yeah, that ain't all. But they're not going to do that. They're going to take advantage of the war. They're going to take advantage of all this talk about Russia not sending her oil to America anymore, and the embargo and the sanction. They're going to take advantage, and they're going to rip you off for more money. First of all, you're poor, you don't have anything. They won't take everything. They're heartless, I tell you. They're heartless. But I have to tell you, many of the listeners to me on a daily basis for years are also heartless. Don't send one dime, don't raise one hand, wouldn't give a cripple crab a crutch, don't give me nothing, don't help in no way. And so the cycle just goes around. These heartless people rip you off at the supermarket, rip you off at the gas station, and then you rip me off. But ain't all the government's in there on this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. The gasoline tax, right? Joe Biden said they're going to release 50 million gallons of oil reserve. That ain't nothing. That ain't a drop in the bucket. That's not that'll keep America running on oil, on gas for 1.5 days. And after that, it's back to the grit mill again. But what you're not going to hear Joe Biden say is that tax, let's say for instance you're paying $5 a gallon right now for gasoline in New York. Of that $5, $46.19 is state and federal taxes. The gas company don't get that. The man running the service station don't get it. That goes to the government, and they got a system to make sure they get it. That goes to the government. So 50 cents out of every, and even if your price is $3 a gallon, you're still going to pay the government 50 cents. So Joe Biden could say, well, hard times now. Why don't we just remove the gas tax? So even though the greedy corporations like ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, Occidental Petroleum, Phillips 66, and Valero Energy, even though they're greedy thieves, jacking up the price when they don't have to, what we as the government going to do to show we're trying to support the people in Ukraine and support everybody else that's here in America, we're going to stop adding tax to the sale of gasoline. So your price of gasoline will go from $5 to $4.50, just like that. That's an extra 50 cents. 10 gallons, that's $5. 20 gallons, that's $10. Right there, you save $10 a day. If the government, who's in on this rip-off of everybody they can rip off, but the problem seems to be not only among the rich and greedy, it seems to be among the poor and greedy as well. Because y'all rip me off every day. Every day. Don't give a thing. And even though, I was jumping up and down going back a few months ago because we have a school here at the Outlaw Mission Church. We do. And, your student come, you don't have a dime, you don't have a pair of shoes. We'll put shoes and clothes on the student. We'll let you come. But if you can give something, give something. Joe Biden gave every parent with a child under 6 years old, $300 a month, and a child over 6 years to 17, $250 a month. You think those people, once they start getting an extra $1,000 a month in their house, you think they said, oh, well, Pastor Mann, now we got money. This is newfound money. Woo, Pastor Mann, here's $100. You think they did that? Hell no. And they didn't have the $1,000 before. And yet we educate their children. Right? When they don't have. So this heartlessness in America, it is unprecedented. And the pot can't call the kettle black. I mean, how you gonna say to the oil executives, to the meat processing executives, ease up, Stop jacking up the prices. Stop charging us when you don't have to. You made enough money. You don't have to rob us. You could get to the government. Do away with the gas tax. And I would say to you that listen to me, why don't you help this ministry? Why don't you give? Why don't you support? Why don't you help us do what we do every day? Heartless. I'm telling you, America, you need to repent, all of you, from the top to the bottom. And you say, well, ExxonMobil and Tyson Food is now ripping us off for $40 more per week than we would normally have to pay. And I say, yeah, that's right. Sure enough, stomp down. But how much are you ripping me off? The man of God who's entitled to eat. I'm entitled. I have to eat like everybody else. I got to go to the grocery market, food market. I got to go to the gas station just like you. How many of y'all are ripping me off? How many of y'all are ripping the Outlaw Ministry off? How many of y'all are ripping off the people that work, that also have to go to the supermarket, also have to put gas in their car? How many of y'all are ripping them off? So the vicious cycle of heartless people, whether it be in the bottom of poverty barrel or at the top with the $1 billion barrel, they're all rip-offs, and nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody wants to hear the truth. Nobody. And by the way, ExxonMobil, ConocoPhillips, Valero, Occidental, Tyson Food, JBS, Smithfield, even though I broadcast this, they're not going to change. They're going to keep their prices stiff till they take every dime they can get from you. And I got news for you. Many of you have been listening to me for years. Going to keep on not giving. Going to keep on ripping off as long as you can, because that's the vicious cycle. Though you are poor, you're no better than the rich thieves that sit at the top. Me. I'm James David Manning, everybody. I thought you might want to know that. I'm the Lord's servant.
I'm the child of the King, His servant at all times. I am strong and I am blessed. I am special because of the Lord. Ooh, child of the King. Child of the King, child of the King, child of the King. I am chosen by God, a member of His royal family. I will succeed in all my studies, because the Lord is with me. Ooh, child of the King. Ooh, child of the King. Child of the King. Child of the King. Child
a member of his royal family. I will succeed in all my studies because the Lord is with